Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Burley, Chief Educator at the Norman Rockwell Museum, and I'm here with my friend Stephanie Plunkett, who is the Deputy Director and Chief Curator. And we are so excited to talk with you today about the image Freedom from Want, which Norman Rockwell created as one of his 4 freedoms images in 1943. He created this image for Americans to think about the value of having enough to eat. And the image conveys the comfort that goes with eating around a table of loved ones. It helped Americans visualize what we were fighting for in World War II, to remember that warm and cozy feeling around the table with plenty of food. Since 1943, many other artists have recreated this image to tell stories based on their own experiences. And we'll take a look at those in a few minutes. But first, let's look at Norman Rockwell's Freedom from Want and think about what the story is that he is telling. So, who is at the table? And what is the food? Do you recognize what is being served? And have you ever sat around a table and eaten a turkey? One of the things that we notice in this image is that Norman Rockwell used white in many, for the table settings, for the tablecloth. If you look at the drinking glasses, they have water in them, but they really look transparent. And so this image is one that really demonstrates, where Norman Rockwell demonstrated his quite extraordinary skill. Norman Rockwell's neighbor, Jim Martin, is in the corner. And he's looking at us and inviting us to be at the table with the rest of the people at the table. So we actually are included, which is really pretty neat. As you look at the food that is on the table, where does it bring your eye? Where does your eye go as you look at this image? And where does your eye rest after you've noticed food, the people around the table? Does your eye go towards the couple that is welcoming everybody on this special day? And Stephanie, when you look at this image, what do you notice and wonder?
Well, it's such a wonderful, lively painting. I actually wonder what they're talking about. And I'm wondering if everybody out there would like to think about what kind of conversation they might be having. But this is a fun image because it also features members of Norman Rockwell's own family. You can see his wife, Mary Barstow Rockwell, on the left, and his mother, Nancy Hill Rockwell, on the right with white hair. And also the woman in town, Rockwell lived in Arlington, Vermont when he did that, the woman in town who would sometimes help the family cook their meals, Mrs. Wheaton, is seen holding the turkey. And it has been said that that turkey looks really large, but it doesn't feel very heavy. And people wondered if Mrs. Wheaton should look a little bit more like she's struggling to hold that big turkey up. And I wonder what everybody thinks about that. Does it look as heavy as it really is? You know, Mary, there are some other very interesting images by contemporary artists who really liked Rockwell's image, but wanted to recreate it for today's times and for their own experiences, as you said earlier. And I'm wondering if you'd like to take everybody through a few of those.
I would love to. And I think we have a couple to show, don't we? One of them is Roz Chast's 2018 New Yorker cover. And I think in that image, it's really interesting to think of who is at this table and what do we often bring to the table unless there's a rule against it in our households today. In Roz's image, she's having fun with the idea that technology is ever present in America today. And in fact, it's robots and technology who are the participants in the meal. And yet,
a lot of fun because Roz, not only is Roz a cartoonist, but she also illustrates children's picture books, and you get a little bit of that feeling in the way that she drew this illustration.
Yes, and it looks like it's also interesting. Everybody's smiling, except maybe the mother figure who is serving everybody, and she looks like she's a little worn out, maybe, which also may be accurate.
Most definitely. I wonder if everybody looking at this illustration can figure out what all the different devices are. There's so many different ones, and these are all things that people use in their lives, maybe with the exception of the robots.
Yeah, it's a really good question. And the other image that you wanted to talk about is that Hank Willis created it?
Yes, this is a photographic image created by the artist Hank Willis Thomas and Emily Scher. And they had an interesting story, which is that in 2012, Mr. Thomas saw Norman Rockwell's Freedom from Want, and he was very interested in the image, but he felt that as a young man growing up in Brooklyn, it did not fully represent the people he knew. So he recreated it to create a more racially diverse picture, and also to bring in some more traditional foods from other cultures. And so if you compare Norman Rockwell's large turkey with the food that the gentleman in this image is serving, you might see some difference, as well as some of the other things that are on the table. And he had a wonderful quote, which I might just read to you. He said of Norman Rockwell's picture, he said, "The image haunted me because of the world we live in." He said, "I wanted to imagine what it would look like today." And I wonder what you might all do if you were to recreate this image in your own way.
And Stephanie, I think that's a wonderful invitation to students everywhere. What does your freedom from want look like? And who would you put in it? What does the food look like? And what details will be important to you? Maybe you could make an image for freedom from want and share it back with us at learn@nrm.org. We're so glad to be with you today.